We got UFC 300 coming up on April 13th, so I just wanted to make some quick predictions for the main card. First up, Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage. Bo Nickal really coming off a lot of electric momentum, going 5-0. He's finished all 5 guys within 1 round with both knockouts and submissions. He's also facing another college wrestler with Brundage, who has a little bit more experience, 10-5, who's coming off a first round knockout. He has 5 knockouts himself with 3 submissions. Pretty good versatility from both guys. I think the Bo Nickal momentum is going to continue. I think he'll get a finish here, but maybe it'll be a little bit more of a tougher challenge because Cody Brundage fought 4 times in 2023, so maybe he's just going to be a little bit more polished. Bo still fought twice last year, so I think he's still going to get it done, but I'm predicting a second round knockout. And the next fight, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Yurkin. I think this is going to be another interesting fight. I really could see this going either way. But I think Arman's just a little bit more active, and I think it is his time, even though I do like Charles Oliveira. Both recently beat Dariush in their last fight via first round TKO. Arman's the more active fighter, fought twice last year versus Oliveira just fighting once. And both of them have faced Islam, the champion, and Arman, I think, obviously has the better performance, going to the decision versus Charles getting stopped in the second round. But Charles Oliveira really has had an impressive fight streak besides the Islam fight, beating a lot of big names such as Gaethje, Poirier, Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee. Arman, I wouldn't say has faced as many big names, but I think he just is a little bit more active. Just seems like he's more at his peak performance, and Oliveira's had a little bit of struggle recently. Both guys pretty versatile as well with both their striking and grappling, so I could see it being interesting whether it's on the ground or whether they're exchanging on their feet. Charles Oliveira really impressive with 21 submissions but also 10 knockouts. Arman is good with both. He has 9 knockouts, 5 submissions, so I think Arman's gonna get it done. Just a 3-round fight here, so I think Oliveira will do a little bit better than against Islam, but I think Arman could finish him in the 3rd round. Whether that's a knockout or a submission, I'm not entirely sure. I could also see Arman winning a decision. Wouldn't rule out Oliveira getting a submission, but I think Arman will take this. And then the next fight, I easily could see this being the fight of the night. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Really 2 big names. I think it's really exciting that they're fighting. I think the only major concern here is that Holloway is jumping up in weight to fight Gaethje. I don't know if he's going to put on the weight, but usually he's a 145-pounder versus Gaethje, 155 pounds. But besides that, I think they'll be pretty evenly matched. Both pretty heavily stand-up guys. Gaethje's 25-4 with 20 knockouts, 1 submission. And then you have Holloway with 25-7 with 11 knockouts. And Holloway has, I think, the most total strikes landed or most significant strikes landed in UFC history. But just really looking at both of their records, I think Gaethje's chin is a little bit more questionable, but due to that weight difference, I don't see Max Holloway stopping him, but I don't see Holloway getting stopped either, so I think this is definitely going to go to a decision. It's going to be an electric 3 rounds, but looking at Holloway's record, he's lost 7 times, but really has only been stopped once, with 6 of those losses going to a decision. And then the co-main event between Yang Weili and Yan Xiaonan, both Chinese fighters, both pretty experienced in the UFC. You have Yang, who's 24-3 with 11 knockouts, 8 submissions, versus Yan, who's 17-3 with 8 knockouts. I think Weili just has a little bit better track record, both pretty similar in terms of recent activity, but I think Weili just has a few more notable wins under her belt and has beat the same contenders that Yan has in better fashion. I think Whaley's going to hold on, get that decision, probably a majority decision. And then for the main event, Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. I think this has all the makeups for a really good fight on paper. I think the really just standout thing here is Hill's activity or lack of activity due to that injury. So he hasn't fought in over a year, and really before that only fought once in 2022. So I think he's just going to be too rusty. I think him being at southpaw gives Pereira some trouble, and he has some good hands as well. But I think Pereira is going to adapt. He won't be able to establish those leg kicks, but he'll go for the body or the head. And I think he's going to get a middle round stoppage, probably the third or fourth round. I see Alex Pereira getting the stoppage and being the champion. But I think this is going to be a really, really good UFC 300 card all across the board. I'm really excited for all of these fights. Feel free to let me know how you guys see this card playing out. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you later.